You're watching TVC Breakfast. Gone are the days where many buy music records from DVDs, CDs, which invariably affect the commercialization of the songs. Now, technology has enabled many record labels and musicians seize full control of the royalties from their creative works. Now, this has also made it simpler to track revenue sources and set uniform percentage earnings. The legality of royalty in Nigeria is rooted in the Copyright Act, which is the exclusive legal right given to an originator of an assignee to print, publish, perform, film, or record literary, artistic, or musical material, and to authorize others to do the same. All right, joining us to discuss this and other developments in Nigerian music industry is the Chief Executive Officer of the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, Mayowa Ayilaran. It's nice to have you join us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Great, good morning.
Good morning, yes.
Now, the issue of royalties, in fact, make us understand first. Let's break it down because the name royalties, of course, people will know what royalties are, but let's make everyone understand in simple terms what might constitute royalties and what may not, because I don't think it's every money that is generated from a creative work that is royalty, or if it is, then let us know.
Okay, thank you so much. Royalty is the regular payment you make to the creator of a work when you deploy such work in a business or in the platform, in the public space. That is the royalties. There are other fees attached to that, like legal fees, administration fee. Then there is another set of income that comes from things like endorsements. Like when you endorse or you promote a particular product or service, and you use the image or the music or the work of somebody. So such also will attract their own fee, which may be one-off fee or pay as you go. But for royalty, it's what you collect for the regular use of a work consistently in another kind of platform or in a business. For instance, in broadcasting, where you pick many pieces of works, particularly musical works and sound recording, and you infuse it into your programs and you broadcast to the public. That generates royalties for the creators. That is the artists, the producers, vis-a-vis the writers and the composers. So those are the people who have shares in royalty collected from such. And this extends to places like restaurants, bars, hotels, event centers like concerts. These are where these royalties come from. They are not exhaustive because
so restaurants and bars, if they play any music of any, they're supposed to pay.
They're supposed to pay.
Interesting.
Because music especially promotes their business. For example, on a very hot afternoon, maybe you are walking in the sun, you are exhausted, you are dehydrated, then you walk into a restaurant or into a bar. Please give me a bottle of Coke. You sit down to enjoy the Coke, and the place is very quiet, like a graveyard. The next thing you want to do is to quickly finish your Coke and get on your way. But whereby you get in, and there is cool music playing, or maybe a video showing, you are likely to sit back and relax and sip your drink rather than gulping it.
And come back.
And come back. Or you may even order for another bottle. So this thing help to promote these businesses. For example, you are a traveler, you lodge in an hotel, you look around, there is no television, no radio, nothing. Your room is just dead empty except the bed. Except you are really tired and you want to sleep. You may not find it funny. The next thing you'll be doing is that, oh, why is there no TV here? So next time you won't want to lodge in that place Or you'll be asking, I want this room changed. Or you have to bring something. Because you will not want to go and stay your entire day or night or evening at the bar or at the restaurant. Even when you come back to the room, you still want to watch something or to listen to soft music that will ease you into your sleep.
Right. You've had, like, will I say, a long-standing dispute, so to speak, with a rival body that's COSON. Mike was talking about that just before we had started the interview.
Yes.
But we'll get to that in a moment. Listening to you now, I just wonder how you are able, now that at this point now you are the sole manager, so to speak, now of royalties for artists. How are you able to ensure that the interests of these artists are protected? You talked about hotels. Your mandate extends to hotels, to restaurants, to bars, stations, television stations, media stations, and the like. How are you able to monitor, discrepancies and ensure that artists get their money's worth?
Yes. First, there is the need for those people to understand and to accept their obligations under the law. There is moral aspect to it, because the person whose music you are using to promote your business, the person has his own need. He needs to feed his family, he needs to clothe himself, he needs to shelter himself. So that's the moral aspect. But the law, which is the Copyright Act, compels that person to at least give back to the creator of that work. So the user needed to be well educated and well informed to see it as a duty, not to see it as a kind of levy or tax, because that was the experience we initially had when people were saying, oh, there are too much taxations and so on. But gradually we educated them to let them know that the music they use in their businesses is as important as the telephone calls they make. It's as important as the tomato, pepper, and all the ingredients they use in cooking the food they serve their customers. It's as important as the money they pay to power holding companies or NEPA, or to buy a generator, or to fuel their lights. So when you remove music, you also have that effect. So people now gradually, see the importance, and they are accepting that. Having crossed that stage, there are, of course, the recalcitrant ones, which is understandable too. You have been enjoying this thing free of charge before, and somebody comes from the blues and say you need to pay for it. So it is expected that there will be natural resistance.
Are you able to enforce?
Yes.
How?
We do. Well, we can't go outside the law. That is our own culture. We'll go through the law, having been duly informed and educated, and being shown the crime you are committing. The next stage is to go to court against that person. And we have done that severally, and we have achieved huge success. For example, many years ago, way back in 1988, the first judgment that we secured was against Nigeria Hotels in Nigeria here. At the Federal High Court, they went to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal decided the case in our favor. Then of recent, this case is a broadcasting one. That's against the multi-choice. And so far, the award we got was unarguably the biggest in Africa, where you go in by way of litigation, where the court asked them to pay us 5.9 billion naira. And there is also the aspect of injunction, where the court will say you must not play their music unless you have their license. So these are the ways we enforce. And there is also the criminal aspect of it, which the government can prosecute and imprison the officials or the person responsible for such infringement.
All right.
But we have not gone that way.
Okay, now because of time,
there is also economic crime, because when you look at the EFCC Act, copyright is one of the aspects. So it has serious legal implications when somebody is infringed.
All right, now make us understand, because as it is, we don't have the time, but let's get into this controversy that a lot of persons are concerned about. Yes. All right, there is the MCSN, which is your body, and then we have the COSON. And both of you are organizations wanting to do the same thing for the same people. And people are concerned about the proliferation of these organizations here and there, talking about being concerned about the welfare of people who are creative artists and all of that. Make us understand, why do we have that, this, and so on?
Well, from the point of law, currently within the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it is only MCSN that is qualified to do the job of collective administration of copyrights. Because under Section 39 of the Copyright Act, you must have the license or the approval of the Nigerian Copyright Commission to do this job. So as of today, there are only 3 or 4 organizations doing this in various aspects. The MCSN for music and sound recording, AVRS, that's Audiovisual Rights Society, for films. Then the REPRONIC, that's Reproduction Organization for Reprographic Rights. So aside those 3, there is no any other organization that can approach a mass user of works like yourselves. So any other person doing that. Then the Supreme Court should recognize the right of an owner, assignee, and exclusive licensee as represented by MCSN. We pursued that case to the Supreme Court, right from the Federal High Court. It took us about 20 years. So the issue of multiple people approaching you does not really arise if you know what the law says. So we are talking from the point of law.
And meanwhile, there are still persons or artists in COSON at the moment.
Well, if they are there, we won't, it's their right to be there. But what do they benefit? Could they access the benefits that is attached to their rights?
Okay.
That is the big question.
Because we don't have the time right now, but I will look at another opportunity for us to discuss these issues even deeper, so Nigerians can get to understand what the issues are, so that those who should be paying royalties should be paying royalties.
Certainly.
All right, thank you very much.
We look forward to another.
All right, Mayowa Ayilaran, the Chief Executive Officer of the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you.
Now.
Yeah.